It is 2024. We're going to talk about the beginner's guide, the ultimate beginner's guide to artifacts. This is huge. Artifacts in Raid Shadow Legends are insanely important, and a lot of people are coming from other hero collector games where artifacts or mods or whatever they're called in your respective game are a little bit different than they are here in Raid Shadow Legends. And Raid Shadow Legends offers a lot of depth. If you haven't done so already, use my link in the description. Spam my QR code to get 2 free Epic Champions Tayrel, and the other one is Rector Draft, which you get after 25 days. And I am using her nearly everywhere, and one of the best supports that I have currently in the game. So let's just say and talk about something that's annoying about artifacts. First is one that it costs silver to remove them. When you put them on there, you're gonna have to pay silver to remove them. Sometimes it's 100,000. It can get very pricey. And my suggestion is have some conviction on when you put artifacts. Moving them around can be expensive. And it's generally about once a month. There is a 2 or 3 day window where there is no cost to remove them. And then sometimes you will get items, and I'm going to say that these are very valuable and you want to save them, where there is going to be a 3-hour window where there is no cost. And when you activate that, that little purple thing will show up right here. So just keep that in mind. And artifacts are very important. Let me show you how important artifacts are. This is a turn-based game. And most turn-based games, the most important stat is going to be speed, because the number of turns you take over a long battle or who goes first generally is one of the most important things in a turn-based game like Raid Shadow Legends. And Loki has a base speed of 105, but through artifacts, I'm getting an extra 161, bringing him up to 270. That's how important artifacts are. If you look at the stats across the board, I'm oftentimes doubling or more the stats with just artifacts important alone. This is why artifacts are important. And in my opinion, on over 90% of the characters, one of the most important stats is going to be speed. Speed. And we're going to talk about some of the ways to get speed. And the main way to get speed is on boots. Now, these boots and boots in Raid Shadow Legends will have primary stats. And we're going to specifically be talking about the primary stat of speed. So right here is the primary stat. And that number is going to be determined by the level and the stars. And so when you get a piece of gear in the game, it has no levels, and it can go from 0 to 16 the max. And this is where you're going to be spending your silver, and you're only going to want to be upgrading good pieces, right? And I'm telling you, primary stat on boots is a good piece for most characters. If I went through my roster, I'm going to say that on over 90% of my characters, the primary stat is speed on boots, and I'm not selling them. And the thing that is super important is that it's super expensive to go from 12 to 16. The other day I spent over 2 million taking a single piece of gear from 12 to 16. If I get a piece of gear that I think is good, I generally will take them to 8 and see what the substats are and then work from there. And then I don't feel like it's a huge commitment taking gear to 8. Going to 12 is a little bit more of a commitment, and going to 16 is only reserved for my best characters right now and the best possible stats. Now, boots is all about speed. Now, I want to suggest that there are a ton of primary stats that can appear on boots. If we click right here, we can see that boots, you can have flat HP, percent base HP, flat attack, percent base attack, flat defense, and then percent base defense and speed. And on most characters, speed is going to be the stat that is important. Now, before I talk about speed some more, in general, flat HP, like if you're looking for HP on any particular geese, percent base HP is better. Percent base attack is better. Percent base defense is better. And I've seen players, go like this and then delete all of them. Like, these are not useful to them. I mean, I'm even the legendary ones. Like, they rather have the 8% HBs, the percent attacks, the percent, but on boots, it's going to be all about speed, speed, speed. And the speed stat is going to be determined by the number of stars and the level. And so, in general, I am thrilled when I pull a 6-star speed boot. I don't even care what the underlying stats are, the substats, not that much. I could use a 6-star boot, and I don't care if it's common or rare. I'm using it. They're that important. It's very, very important. So, speed, speed, speed. And then, if I really need more speed, then I'm going to be dependent on getting speed in the secondary stats in the other 5 pieces. And then also the banner here has speed as well. Now, let's just talk about the top 3 first, the top 3 slots. These 3 slots right here, the primary stats are fixed. So if we look at right here, the weapon, the primary stat is always going to be attack. It's always going to be HP on the helmet, and it's always going to be defense on the shield. So these 3 right here, and we're going to come back to them. Generally, we're trying to get the right type of artifact. We're looking to see if they are epic or legendary. We're trying to see what the substats are, but the primary stat is not of focus, but we're going to focus on primary stats initially. We already talked about boots being speed. Right here, the chest piece is going to have a bunch of different primary stats. Flat resistance, flat accuracy. Accuracy, even though it's a flat base stat, accuracy is super important in Raid Shadow Legends, especially like a character that needs to put out negative effects like Kale or something like that on the clan boss. Accuracy is so much more important in Raid Shadow Legends than I ever thought. So don't sleep on accuracy. I'm just saying the accuracy. Then the other slots, I'm going to say that not so great, not so great, not so great. You get a chest piece that is HP, attack, or defense in the flat stats, I am less than excited. It's just that simple. Then, depending on what the character does, I'm going to be looking for, in general, these are the 4 that I'm looking for on chests. If the character is a debuffer, I'm going to want to put accuracy. If the character is an attacker, I'm going to want attack percent. And if the character has HP-based damage, fine, and so on. There are exceptions to this, of course. You know, if the secondary stats are really good. Got to tell you, everything I'm talking about, there's generalities. But in general, on the chess pieces, these 4 types of primary stats are what is going to get me excited. Specifically, seems like I'm always looking percent attack all the time for my attackers, all the time. And then like Loki right here, since we've got Loki loaded up, you know, Loki is a debuffer, so we're thrilled to get accuracy right there. And so let's talk about the gloves, and the gloves are super important as well. And there are going to be some generalities and rules for gloves. Let's toggle over to that for primary stats. And I am mostly looking for crit rate, crit damage, HP percent, and defense percent. There's some exceptions where attack percent, and I'll explain why. In general, on your attackers, so this doesn't apply to Loki, who's support, but let's say Sun Wukong, who is my attacker. What I'm trying to do is to get his crit rate to as close to 100% as possible. Like, it doesn't have any benefit to go over 100%, but I want to get it as close as I can to 100%. So 95% is a good number. Now, before we keep going to the video, I just want to get call to action. If you're enjoying the video so far and you're not a player of Raid Shadow Legends, be sure to click the link. This is a offer for new players. Scan the QR code. Get a bunch of great stuff. A bunch of free stuff. So, one of the easiest way to get my crit rate is to use the gloves and to get the crit rate on the gloves. So this applies to attackers, right? I'm not going to care about crit rate necessarily on a support character, but a character that I'm wanting to do damage, right? I'm going to be looking for crit rate. Now, something interesting happens. At some point, you can get close to 100% crit rate by the substats on the other pieces. Like I was talking about how the substats are super important on the top row. And then when that happens, like I've done here, the most important stat is not going to be crit rate on the gloves. It's now going to be crit damage. And you can see right there, I've got a 6-star legendary 80% crit damage with speed. This is amazing piece of gear with accuracy. The only thing that really can make this gear better is if it had percent base HP. This is bonkers. Good piece of gear. It just really is. It is absolutely amazing. So let's go over the gloves again, because these are like generalities again. Primary stats of interest, and I get pretty excited when I see, is going to be this right here. Defense, HP, attack percent. Now, generally on attackers, I don't want attack here. I'm mostly getting the attack from the chest piece, so I'm gonna uncheck that. But those are the 4 stats right there that really do it for me. And if I can get my crit rate to 100% elsewhere, and it gets close to near 100%, then these are the 3. And in general, those are the 3. Now, the primary stats on the top 3 are fixed, so we don't have to worry about that. And so then it becomes a function of substats. And the number of substats is going to be determined in part by the rarity. So this is where, like on the bottom 3, I'm not as concerned with the rarity as I am with the primary stat. But on the top ones, because the primary stat is fixed, I'm not as much concerned about the I'm not as much concerned about the primary stat because it's fixed on the top 3, which is the weapon, the shield, and the helmet. I mostly start looking for the rarity, which is, common, rare, epic, legendary, and then there's one above that as well. Then the substats become very important. So here is a excellent piece of gear, right, that I have not upgraded yet. This is a speed set, and on speed sets, I just want to also put this there. If I'm interested in putting a speed set on a character, the more substats that match the speed set are good. Like, I want to double down on this idea. So this is a good piece of gear. I didn't know I had this. I'm instantly going to take this to 8 and consider using this and if I can get more speed from here, I'm going to be super excited. So that is insanely disappointing. If I could have got 2 more, see here, it re-rolled and went from 2. If I could have got that 2 here on the speed and bumped it up to like 14, I'd be thrilled, because a lot of the times I'm just looking for speed. In general, on substats, on the top 3 pieces, if they have speed, it's generally a keeper, and I'm generally excited. There's other stats that we're going to be looking for, and keep in mind, every character is different. Like when we talk about support, generally I just want this guy to go fast and not die, right? He needs to be fast and then have, some combination of health and accuracy, because he does apply negative effects. So I need to have accuracy to apply the negative effects, and so on and so on. Now, you can just go right here and hit recommended artifacts, and you can see what other people are doing. And yes, this is a good general recommendation. Speed sets, HP on the gloves, HP defense on the glove. Notice that they are percents. Boots, speed. Also, right here, attacker, right? Attack, crit rate, attack, percent, and speed. And the exception to this, of course, is that because I have enough crit rate from the secondary stats from these 3 things up here, I can now get crit damage. So whenever you see crit rate right here, if you're able to get your crit rate up close to 100%, crit damage is going to be better. So I'm going to go through some of my gear right now and just like complain about it a little bit and delete some of them that I don't think is good. And the way that I would do that initially is I would start filtering, and I would go to rank and rarity. And I'm not suggesting that you sell any of your gear, but because as I progress further in the game, I'm not needing bad gear as much, and I'm becoming more and more selective. And here's a situation, right? Only thing that I care about on boots is speed and the star level. So like a 6-star, doesn't matter if it's common, rare, whatever, is going to be good. Now, I believe this is this is just a 3-star speed. That's not great, just because it's a 3-star. If this was a 6-star, it would be amazing. I don't care that it's common. So this is, I'm not going to sell this off right now because I sometimes on like a bad faction war character, you know, just to fill up the 5th slot, I might want to put speed boots. There's going to come a place and a time in the game where all 3-star gear is bad. All common gear is bad. But for right now, I'm going to save that. All right, let's go to the 4-star. Now, I'm just going to go through this. Now, this is these two are the top stats, and I'm probably not going to be interested in these two pieces right here unless they have a secondary stat of speed. That has a secondary stat of speed. I'm going to upgrade that to 8. That's good. I hope it procs again, right? Let's see. All right, I got 1. Well, I guess I only had an opportunity for 1. If this was a better piece of gear, this is uncommon, it would be way better, but this is fine. I could probably use this again on a faction war. Would it be better if it's 5? Yes. Would it be better if it's 6? Yes. Would it be better if it's rare? Yes. But speed. Probably because I'm an early game player, this is a useful piece of gear. Now we're gonna go over here. Not so much. This is a speed set. It doesn't have speed down here. I'm dumping this. This is not gonna do it for me. It's gone. And I'm not saying that you should tell. I'm just telling you what, you know, at the place that I'm in the game, some of the pieces that I find good or bad, you know, I'm going through right here. The gloves, I'm going to be looking for percent HP, percent defense, crit rate, crit damage, right? Crit rate. Maybe I could use this on a bad character if it rolls speed, right? Or if there's crit damage, right? I don't know. I think this is pretty bad, actually. I'm just going to say in general, I'm not thrilled with the way that turned out. Let's keep going. So this is a crit damage set. So anytime I can get crit damage on this, primary stats of, well, I can tell it's a crit damage set. I'm going to want it to be crit rate or crit damage, or else I'm not going to be that interested. And the secondary stats probably need to be speed. HP, nope. I don't need flat HP's bad. All right. And I'm not saying you should sell yours, but I'm selling it. Do whatever you want. You know what I mean? I mean, until I guess there's really no reason for me to selling any of this stuff. I mean, there's a cap of 1,500. I guess if I was like at 1,000, probably be a good idea for me to start selling stuff. Right now, I don't really need to be selling gear. I probably should not be selling any of it. But if I was getting close to cap, then I might start considering it. But I'm just showing kind of like the way that I look at these things, and you know, I filter out. I start getting picky and less picky once I have higher stars and higher things. So right here is the star levels, and then here is going to be the legendary levels, right? Or that whether it's common, rare, you know, well, common, uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, and this is what mythical. All right, so 4-star. I got to tell you, I have a bunch of these right here. Those are generally just bad because I farm them unless they have speed substats and so on. You can see that I've already gone through this. This Immortal, this is a set that is HP based, so I'm going to be pretty excited if this chest piece has percent health or percent defense and a secondary stat of speed, right? HP percent, that's cool. It doesn't really have the speed stat, but in general, that's pretty good. I think that's great, right? I mean, this is like, right, or I just wanted to explain like what excites me and doesn't excite me. Now I'm just going to go over some of my 6-star gear, like right here. HP percent, not that exciting. That'd be pretty exciting if it had speed, right? This chest right here, I'm going to be excited if it's attack percent, defense percent, or HP percent. Attack percent, actually that's a really good piece of gear. Holy moly, where's that gear been hiding my entire life? This is a 6-star with a secondary speed and a good primary stat. I'm upgrading it. I think I'm going to take that to 8. That way, when it's at 8 and I'm looking to equip a character, I can find it. Also, that's great. I mean, it would have been better. Defense is, you know, percent defense would be better, sure, for sure. Speed is always good. This is a reasonable piece of gear for me. And maybe later as I get more and more into the game, It won't be, but it's pretty good for now, and I'm happy. This is the kind of stuff I'm looking for right now. It's just speed, 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 and it has the right primary stat right here. Regeneration. It's a 6-star. Probably going to be excited if it's speed. Defense percent. There are some cases where this might be useful. If it was flat defense, I probably would not be interested in this. But it's defense percent. Okay, fine. We're just going to let it sit for now. We're not going to just dumpster it right now. Right here, a flat attack, not speed. I could make a case for using a flat percent on some records, but in general, boots need to be speed as primary stat. So this is a piece of gear I probably would sell. Let's go over here. So this is a set toxic, 75% to play a 2.5% poison debuff. So right here is the weapon, and I'm just looking for the secondary stat as speed. Not great. I do like percent attack and I do like accuracy, but really for me to get excited, it would have had to have speed. Gloves, I'm looking for crit damage, crit chance, defense percent, or HP percent, and a secondary stat of speed. Nope, that's trash. I'm probably selling that. That does nothing for me. Not worth upgrading. Accuracy, speed. So again, if this was a primary stat of accuracy or percent attack or HP or defense percent, of course, with a secondary stat of speed, mostly I'm looking for secondary stat of speed on this. Okay, I do like this accuracy right here. It doesn't have the speed, but I might be able to get it. Like you see that I will get the bonus stat. I won't know until level 16. That would be a tough sell for me. But there are some characters that just need accuracy. And this would be amazing if it has a speed substat. I don't know if this video made any sense at all. Speed's important. On characters that play debuff, accuracy important. On attackers, getting your crit rate as close to 100% and then optimizing your crit damage is important. On characters that have HP or defense percent, HP or defense based damage, or they're just tanks or whatever like that, then you want to look percent based HP and percent based defense. In general, flat stats, like right here, flat stat defense, flat stat HP, not great. Flat attack, not great. Speed, always great. Accuracy on characters that play defense, amazing. Resistance is good. Crit rate percent and crit rate damage, amazing on attackers. Super general. If I forgot something, put it down in the description. I'm sure there's so much more nuance on then, ascending them and putting glyphs and using the right sets on the right characters. That's like 10 more levels of Big shout out to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Use the link in the description or scan the QR code to get a bunch of free stuff. Do it now. Bye for now.